Hare Krishna. So happy to be with all of you again on the eve of Ram Navami. So today, instead of Bhagavad Gita, we'll be discussing on Ramayan. And okay, how many of you are coming for the first time for these glad sessions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, thank you. So you may not be aware, I've been speaking a lot about journaling in the past. So I write journals every day. There are different types of journaling and all that. I've done a few workshops also on journaling. So there is a next book, which is my book is coming up next month, which is called Navigating the Overthinking Trap. So there are 5 chapters. One chapter is entirely on journaling. So this class is not on journaling, but I'm just saying there is one type of journaling called as scriptural journal, which I practice once in a few days. So today morning, I wrote my scripture journal on Ramayan. So because I've been reading and speaking on Ramayan for last 26 years now. So I thought, what should I share in the evening? So just let me write out my heart. So I just wrote something. I'm going to read out from my journal and we'll have some discussions. Okay. So we'll begin with a prayer to Lord Ram. You can repeat after me. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namah. So Ramaya, is Lord Ram. Dasharath Maharaj would very fondly call his son Ram as Ramabhadra. So Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, both are names of Lord Ram. And is also known as Ramachandra, moon. Even Krishna is many times called as Krishna Chandra. In Vedic scriptures, the Lord's beauty is often compared to the moon, the full moon. So Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya, Vedase. All the Vedas ultimately glorify the Supreme Lord. Raghunataya, he is the Lord of the Raghu dynasty. Raghunataya Nathaya, and he is the Lord and Master, Sitaya Pataye Nama, husband of Goddess of Fortune, Mother Sita. We'll chant once more this prayer. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Nama. Once more, because in ISKCON we have 3 times we chant. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namah. See, when we say Rama, if we are present as we utter the name Rama, Rama literally means one who gives happiness. That's the literal meaning of the word. You will find instant peace in your heart. And this is what Vali experienced when Lord Ram shot him an arrow. So Vali was experiencing excruciating pain. So he picked up the arrow to see who shot me that arrow. And he saw, oh, this is Indra's, because just like when we pick up a phone, we know kaun sa brand hai, iPhone hai, Samsung hai. But during those days, arrow dekh ke samajh jata tha ki ye kiska arrow hai. This is Indra's arrow. Indra is father of Vali. Oh, how did my father's arrow come in possession of, who shot me this arrow? So he's wondering. And then he sees the name on that arrow, Rama. As soon as he says Rama, all his misgivings go because his wife Tara had suspected that Ram has come with his spies. She tells him not to go and fight with Sugriva because you just bet him so badly and he's again coming and challenging you on the very same day. Don't do this. Don't go. I see a conspiracy there. I've heard that Ram and Lakshman have come to Kishkinda. My spies have told me. And Tara had an intuitive sense. She was sharp. So Vali was very impetuous, very brazen. He wouldn't heed to any good advice from anyone. So he just dismissed her and he just went to kill Sugriva. And then when that arrow struck him, he realized, oh, this is Ram's arrow. And then when he saw, and he was very angry. But when he said Rama, he became peaceful. So therefore, this yesterday, in fact, we had a long class, 1.5 hours class on Ram and Vali conversation, right? Oh yeah, you were there yesterday. Yes. Anybody else was there yesterday? You were there. Yes. So we won't do that today. We'll do something else. But yeah, I'm speaking from a journal, so I'll just share what I wrote. So Rama and Ramayan, they are foundational to the cultural consciousness of India. There's hardly any Indian who doesn't know Ramayan. And because we have Bhagavad Gita classes every month and today we are having Ramayan, I want to just put this in perspective that Bhagavad Gita, when we study or we hear, we study for knowledge. We want to sharpen our sense of discrimination. We want to understand what is right and what is wrong. And Bhagavad Gita will give you amazing insights. And we will get that from Ramayan also. But there is a difference. The difference is Ramayan we hear for feeling. We hear to feel loved by the Lord. There is a very big difference. As a young boy, I remember growing up in a small temple town in South India. I grew up with my grandparents. My grandfather was a priest in a temple. And the evening Ramayan classes and all, I remember once somebody said, why are you making him sit and hear this Rama? He said, let him hear, my grandfather said. Let him feel. This is for feeling. So Ramayan is not simply for knowledge, because once you hear Ramayan, you know everything. You don't need to hear it again. But we hear again and again because Ramayan has some magic in it. And I experienced it first hand in 2019 January when we went for a pilgrimage to Sri Lanka with a group of 100 devotees from Mumbai and Kolhapur. And we went to all the places where Lord Ram had performed his pastime, like Ashok Vatika and those places in Lanka. And I remember morning I would take seminars, workshops on how to overcome offensive attitude, 8 steps, interactive journaling workshops and all of those kind of skill-based seminars, 3-hour morning. And evening, we would have a 1.5 hour pure Ramayan Katha, the 9-day war between Rama and Ravan, which they all have been hearing since childhood. I mean, everybody knows Ramayan in India. But still, I spoke the same, nothing, I added nothing new in the evening class. While the morning class was filled with Shero Shairi and skills and techniques and all of that. There's a lot of what our Gaur Gopal says, edutainment, education and entertainment. So everybody was happy. So I thought they were very happy and excited in the morning. But when we were returning back to Mumbai in the flight, there were 100 of us. All of them told me that evening sessions were so nourishing. We are so grateful for that. I said, but you already know Ramayan. They said, yeah, but there is something so magical about Ramayan. Ramayan just nourished my heart. Everybody said that. Just hearing the story of the same thing, like Hanuman meeting Mother Sita, Ravana admonishing, and Hanuman fighting, Indrajit getting killed, Kumbhaka, all the same stories. So therefore, that's a point I'm saying, that we all want to feel loved by the Lord, and Ramayan will ensure that you experience that. Therefore, please don't underestimate the power of this immortal classic, Sri Ramayan, because we are all Bhakti Yoga practitioners. You can go to many spiritual organizations, but if you come to ISKCON, we are essentially practicing Bhakti Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, the essence of all practices in Bhakti Yoga is Yena Kena Prakarena Manha Krishna Niveshayat. Somehow feel loved by the Lord. We want to feel that love, because this world repeatedly disappoints us. But Krishna, Rama, Lord, has an amazing ability to completely satisfy and fill the vacuum in our heart. So now I want to clarify, in Bhakti Yoga also, knowledge is important. That's why we have Bhagavad Gita classes. That's why if you see today, we began the class with the chant, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. Ajnana, ignorance, is compared to darkness. Timirandhasya, it is andhasya, it is blinding. Jnananjana Shalakaya. Knowledge is like opening the eyes. It's like sunlight. So we need knowledge. Definitely. Just like sunlight helps us remove darkness, knowledge helps us remove ignorance. So we don't underestimate the power of knowledge. But still in Bhakti Yoga there is something special. Because We all are looking for love. We may not say it openly, but we are proudly calling ourselves as human beings or very rational beings. We are not rational, we are emotional beings. We may have rationality, we may have a very developed prefrontal cortex, but we are not governed by the frontal lobes. We are governed by the limbic system only. In fact, what Daniel Goleman says, amygdala hijack. We've been hijacked by our feeling brain. The thinking brain is always in the background. So we are emotional beings. Let us admit that. Yes, we have rationality, but that rationality we use to justify our emotions only. Ultimately, so why not connect with the Supreme Lord who is most emotional? In fact, if you read Ramayan, there is one section at Aranyakand, which is my favorite. And when I started diving into Ramayan deeply during COVID time, I was flabbergasted. Till then, I was only reading translations from different places. Translations don't give you the same feeling as the original Ramayan with verses. If you're interested, you can visit valmikiramayan.net. Every verse has been translated with word-to-word meaning, and also there are purports. I was blown away to see in Aranyakand, chapter 60, 61, 62, 63, the way Lord Ram is wailing and crying in separation from Mother Sita. That is like, vulnerability ka height, epitome of being vulnerable and fallible. He's like crying, and then Lakshman has to counsel him. Lakshman uses 13 counseling methods, and how Lakshman counsels Ram is another seminar in itself. But the point I'm making is, Bhakti Yoga, there is something special. There is all the features of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. But in Bhakti Yoga, there is love. There is feeling of being loved. Because Karma Yoga is focused on service. Jnana Yoga is focused on head, scriptures. So Karma Yoga is hands. Jnana Yoga is head. And Bhakti Yoga is heart. There is service, there is knowledge, and there is love. That's how Bhakti Yoga becomes complete. So that's what we call as home state or shelter state. And Ramayan offers a sense of belongingness. And Bhagavad Gita also, of course, Srimad Bhagavatam also. So Ramayan begins with Valmiki asking Narad Muni that, please tell me, I want to meet the perfect being. Is there anyone perfect, most wonderful, most chivalrous, most heroic, most tolerant, most patient, and yet when he's angry, even the gods tremble in fear from him? Is there anyone like that who is just perfect? And Narad Muni says, you already know that person, that is Rama. And then he extols the glories of Lord Ram, and in 100 verses he gives the entire Ramayana. Now, when I was reading that, it's amazing how we all are looking for perfection, but we don't find it in ourselves also, and we don't find it in others also. And that's why we get disappointed. So Lord Ram is being declared in Ramayana as the perfect person. And interestingly, he also, as a human, if he sees, because he's playing a role of a human, although he's the Supreme Lord. So just like humans make mistakes, or humans are not always, we don't get 100 out of 100 in terms of our duties we perform, right? We may get 40, 50, 60. But Ram also didn't get 100 out of 100. He was better than best. So as a husband, he disappointed. Devotees feel a lot of pain when they see how he left Mother Sita in Valmiki Muni's ashram. But he did many other things. So 90 de dete hain Ram ko chalo. 100. But still, he is the best. I remember one boy, I used to do youth preaching, and he was of marriageable age, and I told him, get married. We have a marriage board in our temple. So there are many alliances that they do all the matchmaking. That's not my department. But I see eligible boys and girls. So then he connected with the marriage board. They proposed in some alliances, and he had a some utopian idea of a wife. She has to be beautiful, she has to cook, she has to blah, 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 so many things. So any alliances, pura ek alag hi uska wo tha. He was in some imaginary world. So then all the alliances that came to him, that the marriage board offered him, he was like rejecting. Kuch nahi. So finally, the marriage board really got exasperated. They stopped showing him any alliances. And he got then pissed off. He said, "अरे आप दिखा नहीं रहे हमको." So then the marriage board chairman told him, "प्रभु जी, आपका रिक्वेस्ट हमने ब्रह्मा जी को भेजा है, जब वो बनाएंगे ऐसा लड़की, हम आपको, we will get back to you when Lord Brahma makes a woman like that." So we are looking for perfect people, and we beat ourselves up also because we want to be perfect, and that's why we suffer. Even though the Lord is a perfect being in material world, because he comes as a human incarnation, he did disappoint many devotees. In the sense, devotees are crying. Even today, I went to Ayodhya some years ago, a small temple, and this Babaji is speaking Ramayan, and he's speaking on Uttar Ramayan, and then they are also crying. The speaker is also crying. Everybody feels the pain of separation. So Mother Sita, of course, as a husband, what he did was totally unacceptable. But of course, he was balancing many duties. So, okay, now before anything else, I was thinking, why not just discuss this point first? Ram did send Mother Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram, but it is not the same as, it's not a banishment. He didn't banish her like the way he was banished to the forest by his mother Kaikeyi. So, how we devotees in ISKCON, how do we see Lord Ram sending Mother Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram? I'll just briefly share that, and then we'll go to Balkan. I was supposed to speak on Balkan, which is the beginning of Ramayan, but let's go to the end. Because people ask questions always, every Ramayan class, they come to the end only. अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट क्यों फॉरेस्ट क्यों भेजा? तो चलो पहले वही एड्रेस कर लेते. But there are three ways of I see how the Lord Ram is treating Mother Sita in the end. First is Lord Ram sending Mother Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram is seen in the context of Dharma, balancing many duties. We all go through what is called a Dharma conflict. So, Dharma is a word derived from the Sanskrit root dhra. Dhra dhatu se aata hai. Dhra means to sustain, to hold. So, life in this world, this universe sustains based on certain laws. And when all of us live in congruence with those laws, then there is order, there is harmony in the cosmos. And that is called Dharma. So like for example, if you are a mother and you give your best to your child, that's Dharma. If you are a student and you are devoted to your studies in an ashram, then you are following Dharma. So all of us, when we align our lives to these universal laws, principles, then we are following Dharma. But the problem of this world is that we all have many roles. We don't have one role. You're not simply a mother, or you're not simply a student, or you're not simply a husband. And because we have many roles, for each role, we have many goals. And when the goals conflict, when the roles conflict, then we go through what is called as Dharma conflict. Anybody here have had to battle with two right choices? See, one wrong and right choice, okay, it's a moral dilemma, I know what to choose. But two right choices, kya karna hai? The ethical dilemma is difficult, right? And then we think, hey, galat hai, nahi, ye sahi hai, galat kya hai, sahi kya hai? Like, if there is a raw agent, a spy, and he signs up to defend the country, he goes, who was that? Ajit Doval went to Pakistan, he stayed there. But he knew what he was signing up for. Like, if he is killed, if he is caught, the government will disown him. Huh? What kind of a government is that? You could scream, they are so unjust, they're so unfair, this man is giving up his life for you. नहीं, हमको कुछ नहीं देना, हम ऐसे बोलेंगे. So, what is right there exactly? You can't really say. एक right है, but एक उसके ऊपर का right है. Like, we went to Nasik in this army cantonment to they have donkeys. These donkeys carry a lot of ammunition and all of that. And the hilly areas, Himalayas, they use them in the border and all that. So this army leader was telling our group, we had taken children, when these donkeys become old, we shoot them, we kill them. Marte kyun yaar? So then they gave different reasons. That army fellow said, "Arey, they have served the Indian army. How can they die an ordinary death? They should die from a bullet." अरे यार ऐसा कैसा? नहीं, उसको गांव में भेज दो, उधर घूमेगा, अपना बूढ़ा होके मरेगा नहीं, उसको अगर एनिमी ने पकड़ लिया तो, बिकॉज दैट डोंकी नोज द होल रूट. तो वो सब, so we can't do that. So then for every question we had, they had an answer. And till the end of that yatra, 4 days, I was only thinking of different ways we could honorably kill that donkey. But हमारा सब questions को उन्होंने defeat किया. So now, what is right, what is wrong? Serving a donkey, serving the nation, किसका बलि चढ़ रहा है, who is sacrificing what? Something is not right, but there is some higher right. We don't know. These are basically a dharma conflict. All of us go through that. We should always speak the truth. Okay, I should always speak the truth. There's an innocent man being chased by some gundas, and he hides in your house, and then the gundas come and ask, have you seen him? We say, yeah, he has gone there. So should you speak the truth and allow an innocent man to be beaten up? So what is truth? See, it's very subjective. We all go through dharma conflict. If you say, I have not faced a dharma conflict, that means you haven't lived long enough. Just continue living. Like, I go to US every year for 2 months, and I meet so many families, 25 cities in 30 days, crazy travel. And one of the common challenges there is Indian families. Oh, my parents don't want to come to US. They're in India. They're calling us back now. But my wife and kids are happy here. क्या करना चाहिए प्रभु जी, आप बताओ. अरे मैं कैसे बताऊं? आपका धर्मा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है वो. It is your dharma conflict. You have to navigate through that. Like one man says, Prabhu, if I work 5 hours extra every day, after next 3 years, I don't have to work ever. Next 3 years, I just need to work 5 hours extra every day. Then I'll have enough money for the rest of my life. But this is the period when my daughter is falling so sick that I need to give her 3 to 4 hours extra every day, just give her emotional, that affection, then she'll be all right. So now he's in a dilemma. Should I give my time to my daughter now when she needs it, or just 3 years, let me work? So I hear this all the time, dharma conflict. So the first reason why Lord Ram sent Mother Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram is that he faced what is a classical case of dharma conflict. He was a husband, we all agree, but he was also a king. Now, king's mandate to rule is what the citizens are this mandate. They have to. So we all agree. I don't think any devotee of Ram will say that Lord Ram sending Mother Sita as a husband is acceptable. It is not acceptable. Nobody will accept it. Because we are devotees. We love Mother Sita. Right? So, as a husband, what he did is completely unacceptable. There is no two opinions on that. But he is also a king. How many of us know what the challenges a king faces? Anybody here who's been a king ever? Even an MP, MLA, king of your locality. So, we don't know what kind of sacrifice happens as a king. And so, as I told you, chapter 60 to 63 of Aranyakand, when you see Ram crying, at least you'll be convinced that he loved Mother Sita. He was not somebody who hated her or who wanted to get rid of her. So he sent her away. At least that is clear. Right? And also, the best part is, Mother Sita also understood dharma conflict. That is the best part of Ramayana. She had no problem eventually. Initially she cried, but the conversation she has with Lakshman is very interesting. She tells Lakshman, one of the last things she tells him is, please tell my Lord Raghunath not to be angry with the residents of Ayodhya. That is the last instruction, because she knows Ram is very angry with the citizens of Ayodhya. So she has no problem, but we have problem as devotees. And of course, many times people say, oh, one dhobi said this, so he sent her away. No, it was not a dhobi. The whole conversation you'll find in Uttar Ramayan. You can read this book, The Real Side, by Govinda Das. He explains very beautifully the whole chapter. So Ram called Bhadra. Bhadra was the head of the 10 ministers. And Bhadra gives an account of all the entire cabinet as discussed this. And it's not simply one or two people who were talking about it. Prominent citizens were questioning. So Lord Ram didn't banish her to the forest like what Kaikeyi did to Ram. He sent her to an ashram. There is a difference between going to a forest, a lonely and dangerous forest, and going to an ashram. Because Valmiki Muni had an ashram where even women lived. And there she was taken care of. And it wasn't for 14 years. It was for a time till he could resolve the issue, which was around 6-7 years. And meanwhile, he didn't take another wife. Because his father had how many wives? Dasharath Maharaj? 350 wives. 353 wives. That's another story. Why he had 353 wives? Why? Because, those days Kshatriya kings would have. That's one part of this. But there's another reason. Parashuram was a very great warrior who was going around on a rampage, killing kings. And he had taken a vow that I won't kill when somebody is getting married. So Dasharath Maharaj had kept pura ek ready tha, brides to be. So as Parashuram would enter the gate of his kingdom, message would be relayed. कि आ गए, तुरंत टेक्स्ट कर दिया, अभी आ गए, परशुराम आ गए, चलो निकालो, ब्राइड नंबर 1, ओम स्वाहा शुभ मंगल सावधान. So Parashuram comes, oh, शादी चल रहा है, he went back. Again after a few years he would come, as soon as he would come, दूसरा शादी. So like that he had 353 wives. So Ram could have taken at least one more. He had only one wife. In fact, all the Anushthan Yajna, all the holy rituals that they would do, he would have a golden deity of Mother Sita with him. He was completely loyal, fiercely chaste to his wife. He never took another wife. So that shows he loved her. So he didn't cheat on her. So that's at least clear. So Dharma conflict was the main reason. The first reason why Lord Ram had to send her to the forest. And best part is Mother Sita knew the science of Dharma. Because you see, many times, the leftist historians, they present Mother Sita as a very timid, submissive woman who was kind of abused or exploited. But if you read Ramayan, there are at least 3 or 4 instances when I was laughing when I read those sections where Mother Sita comes out as very assertive, independently thoughtful, and no nonsense woman. Like when she is leaving for the forest, Mother Kaushalya tells, like a typical Saas telling a Bahu, Mother Kaushalya is telling Mother Sita that Jara sambal ke mere bete ka khyaal rakhna, those kind of things. You are going to the forest. Don't be she says, don't be kind of in your own world, because you are a tender princess who has lived in Janak Maharaj's kingdom, so you need to take care of my son. And she's trying to tell her instructor, and Mother Sita kind of snaps her own mother-in-law saying, I've been trained by my father very well how to take care of my husband. मतलब आप मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. मैं जब जानती हूँ कैसे ख्याल रखना है मेरे husband का, मुझे पूरा training मिला है. Okay, before that, when Lord Ram informs Mother Sita that he has been not banished, he's been sent to the forest. So Mother Sita insists on coming with him to the forest. And Lord Ram says, no, nothing doing. And there's a whole conversation where Lord Ram tells her, what is a forest? It's not simply a beautiful waterfall. In the night, you won't be able to sleep because of the sound of the waterfall. And it's not simply peacocks and deer in the night. The jackals will howl. There's a very graphic description, the eerie description of the forest Lord Ram is giving her. And she listens to the whole thing. She says, no, but I want to come to the forest. I want to be with you. She just doesn't take a no for an answer. And the entire discussion gets resolved. The dispute gets resolved when Mother Sita hurls a Brahmastra, the ultimate weapon of her argument, after which Lord Ram has nothing more to say. She says, I think my father has got me married to a woman who is in the guise of a man. Who is not confident of taking me to the forest. Then Ram is a Kshatriya. He says, you are coming with me. Come, abhi jab ho gaya, discussion ho gaya. So she knew her duty. She knew what she was signing up for. She was very ready. Jana hai mujhe forest. So Lord, what the point I'm making is, if she knows what is right and wrong, and she can do the right thing in Ayodhya Kand and go to the forest. So she knew what is the right thing to do when she was being sent to Valmiki Muni's ashram also. She could have put her foot down and been assertive, and she would have done the right thing, because she did the right thing when she wanted to. She spoke her mind. In fact, during the Agni Pariksha pastime also, of course, which is explained in Kurma Puran in a different way, in a detailed way, we're not getting into that now. But the way she chastises her husband. See, Lord Ram doesn't speak harshly to Sita in the Ramayan, but Mother Sita has spoken twice very strongly to Lord Ram. So, Mother Sita is a very clear thinking, intelligent woman. So, she knew the science of Dharma. She would have disapproved and she would have not followed her husband if it was not the right thing. This is the one reason Dharma conflict is a challenge which those who are rulers, they go through this. The second reason is, this is from a journal, today morning journal I'm sharing, so just bear with me, I'm just reading. The second reason is purpose, the purpose of an incarnation. So Lord Ram, as an incarnation, he had a purpose. His purpose was to be an ideal ruler, Maryada Purushottam, to follow the ideal principles. See, as Krishna, he was a lover. He would cheat, lie, protect his devotees, do what he wants. And that's why we all love Krishna, more attracted to Krishna, because we feel, Hare Krishna, apne ko bacha lenge. Krishna, I'm a compromised Kali Yuga product. Krishna is my hope. Krishna will, but Ram ke samne aane mein dar lagta hai, because integrity, बहुत high integrity is expected. And Lord Ram is doing what his role as an incarnation is. Like, for example, when Lord comes as Buddha, his purpose was non-violence. The same Lord, when he comes as Parashuram, he is going around killing all the infidels and all the rebellious Kshatriyas. So you can't accuse Parashuram of not doing what Buddha did. अरे परशुराम ने ऐसे क्यों किया? बुद्धा ने, अरे परशुराम का रोल अलग था, बुद्धा का रोल अलग था. Similarly, Lord Ram's role was different. It's very important to understand. His role was that, so he did that. Therefore, many people who don't know this purpose and role part, they mix up avatars. Like Lord Ram came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 550 years ago. Tushtya Surep Sitarajya Lakshmi. What is that verse? How does it begin? A very beautiful verse in the Bhagavatam which explains how Lord Ram came as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 550 years ago. And there, so he came as a sannyasi. He renounced everything, he Shevanaded. So now there is a group of people who say, oh, Lord Chaitanya is Ram, Krishna. So they are Gauranga Nagaris, their group is called, they are worshippers of Lord Chaitanya, but they do Ras Leela. Now, Ras Leela, as a Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's devotee, you can't do that because Gauranga Mahaprabhu's whole mood was of a sannyasi. Are you getting what I'm saying? It's called as Rasa Bhas, you're mixing up of mellows. So we can't, so that's a purpose. Lord Ram's purpose was to establish Dharma, establish the right administrator rule and do the right thing. That's why when Indian constitution was being formed, of course now because of the secular lingo, we are scared to talk about all of this. But if you see the original constitution, there's beautiful paintings and descriptions of Ramayan in the original constitution of 1950s. You'll find it on the internet. YouTube mein milega aapko. Ramayan was kind of the basis of the constitution where, Radhakrishnan, the first president of India, he explained why the Indian flag has saffron color. He said that represents fire of sacrifice. And extolling the glories of Lord Ram, he said, leaders should have a spirit of willing to give up anything and everything for the country. In fact, Lord Ram tells Bharat that mother and motherland are never to be compromised. There's a verse in the Chitrakoot when they're meeting. So basically, Lord Ram knew his duty to the motherland. So that's why Dharma conflict. Second was the purpose of incarnation. So willing to give up what you love the most for the service that is expected of you. That is Ramayan. That is why Srila Prabhupada, if you see in ISKCON, he insisted on establishing Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman deities in a few very critical places. Like he established ISKCON in America first. So in Washington DC, which is the capital of America, he said we should have Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman deities because Washington is the capital of America and America is the leader, that time the leader of the world, I guess even now in one sense. So Srila Prabhupada said, that should be ideal standard. So we should have Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman deities. Ram Darbar hona chahiye Washington. Then Srila Prabhupada said, England is the leader in Europe at that time. So he said London is the capital of England. So in London also we should have Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman deity. So we have in Bhaktivedanta manner. And then Srila Prabhupada said, and Mumbai is India's financial capital. Delhi also, he said Delhi is the capital of India. So in Delhi also we have Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman. Then he said in Mumbai also we should have. That's why in Mumbai, Radha Raspberry Temple we have Ram Darbar. So it's a very high standard Lord Ram has established. So we with great awe and reverence we worship. So like that. So but we are in ISKCON, we want to feel love. We feel loved by Krishna. Both Krishna and Ram are same, but that's the rasa. So there are two reasons I shared with you. One was Dharma conflict. Second, purpose of the incarnation. And third is a very deep subject matter. It is called Vipralambha. Vipralambha is a love in separation. Means, in this world, when lovers meet, there is happiness and joy. But when lovers are separated, now in this world, not necessarily love increases because far from sight, far from mind. But in spiritual life, when the lovers are separated, like Lord and devotees, it is said that the distance makes the hearts grow fonder. Devotees' intensity increases. So when Ram and Sita were separate, their love expanded and multiplied, and they experienced what is called as Vipralambha rasa. Vipralambha is loving in separation. And this rasa cannot be explained. It's ineffable. It is like your hot chutney which you use in samosa. Tikka, mitha. It is tantalizing to your senses. You can't give it up, but you can't. Sometimes it's too tikha, but you want it. Aisa hota hai? So that's what Vipralambha is. Like you're feeling intense separation, but उसमें एक अलग कुछ तो flavor है. In fact, Ramayan begins like this. So I told you, I got for a detour ले लिया हमने. When Lord Ram, when Narad Muni tells Valmiki that Ram is the perfect being, and then he gives him the 100 verses of the entire Ramayan, then Narad Muni disappears. Then Valmiki Muni goes to the Tamasa river to take bath with his disciples, especially with his principal disciple Bharadwaj Rishi. So as they are walking towards the river, Valmiki is appreciating the beautiful scenery. He says, look at this Crauncha bird. Crauncha bird is what modern ornithologists. Ornithology is a sub-branch of zoology which studies birds. So ornithologists call this Crauncha bird as Sarus crane. So Sarus crane, so Valmiki points out to the two Sarus crane birds, male and female, who are sporting and mating. And with great joy, there's a beautiful verses where Valmiki says, see, in nature also there is so much love. Just see how they are enjoying each other's company. So he's appreciating that the sweetness in that relationship of two Crauncha birds. And he's appreciating the beauty, the love, the sweetness in nature. And suddenly at that point of time, and before that Valmiki says, and this is a female Crauncha. He points out to the female. And the speciality of female Crauncha? If her mate dies for whatever reason, she will never accept another mate for the rest of her life. Interestingly, modern ornithology, just few decades ago, they confirmed this behavior of Sarus crane. So what is very casually mentioned, there are many things which are casually mentioned in Ramayan, which modern science is like, okay, ye bhi sahi hai, ye bhi sahi hai. So where was I? Yeah. Crauncha. So she will forever remain fiercely loyal and chaste to her partner. This is what Valmiki says. And just then, a hunter shoots an arrow. And it comes and hits the male Crauncha, and the male Crauncha falls dead. And that female Crauncha starts wailing, screaming, and she's devastated. And Valmiki is shocked to see this sight. How could this cruel hunter shoot an arrow like that and end their life, end the life of, actually both of them in one sense. So in great shoka, he utters a shloka. And in perfect poetic meter, which is called Anushtup Chanda, he pronounces a curse on the hunter. It's a very beautiful verse. You can repeat after me. Ma nishada pratisthama. Tamagama shashwati sama. Yat krauncha mituna dekha. Yad avadi kama mohita. So they were kama mohita, they were intensely in kama, in desire to enjoy each other's association. Mithuna dekha, they were enjoying, they were mating, and this cruel hunter, may you never have happiness in your life because you separated a lover from the beloved. Ma nishada, you cruel hunter. For eternity may you suffer. Like that he pronounces a curse. And then as soon as he pronounces the curse, he's shocked. How could I curse in Anushtup Chanda in such perfect poetic meter? How did I do that? I mean, generally when you are angry with someone and you want to curse, do you sing a beautiful... do you know anyone who is very angry and he wants to curse someone and he composes a beautiful shairi or poetry? You are angry, right? You just mouthful of expletives. But here is a person who is... and he's himself shocked at what he's composed. He's like, how did this verse come out? And he's bewildered. And then he goes, he takes bath and he looks at Bharadwaj, and Bharadwaj is also not sure, his disciple. So they come back to the ashram and he's still wondering what happened. And that's when Brahmaji appears and says, my dear Valmiki, please don't get bewildered. This was my arrangement. So Mother Saraswati has appeared on your tongue to give you that faith that you are destined to compose the glories of Lord Ram. You have it. You are empowered. This verse which you chanted is symbolic, or in one sense it is setting the trend of the mood of Ramayan. Ramayan is this intense separation. Everybody is feeling. Dasharath Maharaj in Ayodhya Kand is going crazy in separation from Ram. Bharat is feeling that. All the queens in Ayodhya are feeling that. Mother Sita is feeling when she is in Lanka, kidnapped. Everybody, the whole Ramayana is Karunaras. Crying. If you are not cried when you are hearing Ram Katha, that means you have not heard Ramayana. Ramayana में पूरा उसमें रोने में आनंद है. Sometimes people say, प्रभु जी आप राम कथा कर रहे थे, आपके क्लास में कितने लोग रोए? हम बोलते कोई रोए नहीं, बहुत लोग सोए. हमारे क्लास में लोग सोए. So everybody is feeling separation in Ramayana, and the starting verse is like, it sets the mood of whole Ramayana. Whole Ramayana is like that. In fact, in the Balakand, when Vishwamitra comes and takes Rama and Lakshman away, the way Dasharath Maharaj is trembling like a fish out of water, he's like desperate to not allow his 16-year-old Ram to go with Vishwamitra. Wahan se shuru ho jata hai. That crying, that separation, that intensity of attachment to the Lord. So then after Brahmaji tells this, then Valmiki Muni says, he gets confidence and he closes his eyes, and just like in Mahabharata, Ganesh wrote and Vedavyas spoke. So Valmiki Muni starts speaking Ram's glories, and Bharadwaj Rishi is sitting right in front and he starts recording. He hears and he closes his eyes and he utters how many verses? 24,000 verses in one go. It's the whole Ramayana in Anushtup Chanda, and 24,000 verses, and a few days later, when he opens his eyes, after having completed Ramayana, Bharadwaj Rishi says, everything is recorded. So that's how Ramayana was composed. Bhagavad Gita has how many verses? 700. Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000, and Ramayana has 24,000 verses. It is divided into 7 sections or Kanda. The first is Bala Kanda, which ends with Lord Ram marrying Mother Sita and coming to Ayodhya. Then there is Ayodhya Kand, which is all the intrigue and politics, which is wonderful section. Mantara, how she convinces Kaikeyi, then Kaikeyi's drama with Dasharath Maharaj, Pura, and then banishment and all that, Bharat. And then after that there is Aranya Kand, Lord Ram and Mother Sita and Lakshman in the forest. Ravana kidnapping Mother Sita, that's all. And then Kishkinda Kand, which is where Lord Ram and Lakshman are searching alliances with Sugriva, Vali's killing, all that. And then there is the most favorite of all devotees, Sundar Kand, which is Hanuman's exploits and journey to Lanka and meeting Mother Sita. And then there is Yuddha Kand, and then there is Uttar Kand, like that. So the point is, this is the mood, separation. And in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada encouraged us. ISKCON is following the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition where we love Krishna in the mood of separation. Once Srila Prabhupada was giving class in New York, in the initial days, just try to understand the context. All hippies, young American boys and girls who have no idea about India, Vedic culture. They're attending ISKCON classes, Bhagavad Gita classes, and Srila Prabhupada had mentioned a few times about loving God in the mood of separation and all of that. And he was giving basic classes, but occasionally he had mentioned this. So in the class, one girl, later on she became Govinda Dasi, she was an American girl. She said, Swamiji, a few days ago you mentioned about loving Krishna in the mood of separation, like some gopis of Vrindavan. Can you explain what is that? So Srila Prabhupada was shocked that this girl, what I mentioned nonchalantly in passing, she got that and she's asking me that question. Srila Prabhupada's eyes lit up. Acha, he was so happy because nobody would ask him those kind of questions. Everybody would ask him crazy questions. They were hippies, they were into drugs. And here is a girl who's asking such a beautiful, Acha, what a beautiful question. And then he kept shaking his head. He closed his eyes and he entered another space, another dimension of reality. And he said, yes, this is our mood. We want to follow the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan who love Krishna in the mood of separation. He Radhe Vraja Devike Chalalite He Nanda Shuno Kuta. Prabhupada chanted this. Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vane Kuta Goshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure Keder Mahavivalo Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. So this verse says how the Goswamis are running around in Vrindavan, looking at Govardhan mountain, they're looking at Yamuna. Oh Krishna, are you here? Oh Radharani, where are you? We want to serve you. The whole mood of hankering to be with Krishna. Prabhupada mentioned this. And as I was explaining the translation, tears started coming from his eyes. And his body started trembling. His voice choked. And he got stunned and he just froze. Time stood still. And all these young boys and girls, they didn't know what was happening. They knew that something exotic, kuch to chal raha hai. Some spiritual experience this Swamiji is going through, but they had no idea what it was. So they just kept quiet and they were like looking at him, staring blankly. So Bruce and Greg, they were too young. They were like, modern day, what do you call those? Sponsors to say. Lambe, well-built. Gaur Gopal Prabhu has those sponsors. So they were Bruce and Greg. They were young American boys. They were sitting right in the front. Srila Prabhupada's class. They were like, what is Swamiji going through? They looked at each other. They saw the kartals. So after some time, Bruce picked up the kartal and he said, Hare Krishna. Because there was complete silence. So then he chanted Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada came back to external consciousness. He kind of he positioned himself properly and then he continued the class as if nothing had happened. And then after the class, he went back to his room and then few devotees went to him. Swamiji, what happened in the class in the evening? This girl asked a question. What Srila Prabhupada said? Just forget it. He was so dismissive about it. He didn't speak about it at all. Because he didn't want to. He was very private. He didn't want to speak about loving Krishna in separation and having those kind of emotions in public space. Because then, it's easy to imitate these things. Guru karenge to chele chapate bhi karenge sab. Imagine a speaker is giving class and suddenly he starts crying and, all that drama. Because Srila Prabhupada said ISKCON is focused on education. We want to educate people. Prabhupada said ISKCON is like a college. We want to educate people, learn the science of bhakti. But we need to understand that internally we need to cultivate this mood. That Krishna, where are you? Krishna, I love you. It's like our mood of separation is how If you are told there is a priceless diamond kept in this room, what is that? Kohinoor diamond. If you find it, it's yours. So will you intensely search for it? Yes, I'm going to get a Kohinoor diamond. That's one level of searching for Kohinoor diamond. There is a diamond kept here. If you search it, you get it. So there's one kind of devotees who are like, I want Krishna. It's like the diamond is, I'm going to get that diamond. But our mood is different. We are like those people. Imagine you had a Kohinoor diamond with you and you lost. Okay, now Kohinoor diamond कितना नहीं समझ रहे आपको, आपका iPhone, चलो आपका iPhone गुम हो गया. People are more attached to iPhone. उसमें आत्मा बसती है ना आजकल. iPhone is where the soul, not in the heart. So you lose something very precious, and then the way you look for it. Now, if you didn't have a diamond and you're looking for it, it's not as intense as it is when you had a diamond and then you lose it, and then you are going crazy. अरे मेरे पास था, I had it and I lost it. That is Vipralamba. I had Krishna. Krishna was with me and I lost Krishna. Krishna, where are you? So our mood is that. I came to ISKCON temple. I chanted. I was so happy with the devotees. I felt Krishna's love in my heart. Krishna, but where are you now? Krishna, please appear before me. That is our mood. That is a Vrindavan mood. Vrindavanam gopaganascha gopyo vilokya govinda viyoga khinnam Radha jagushashru vilochanabhyam Govinda damodara madhaveti. Vrindavan, the Gopal and Gopis, they are only looking at Krishna and they are desiring that Radha and Krishna should be together. And they are saying Radharani is crying for Krishna so much. So then they are all chanting spontaneously, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, please fulfill Radha's desires. And when Akrura came to Vrindavan, he took Krishna and Balram to Mathura. So when Akrura took, that's a very poignant scene in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where all the gopis, they stop Akrura's chariot and they say, you can't take Krishna out of Vrindavan. And then they chant this beautiful verse. You can repeat after me, is it possible? Let's see. Evam bruvanam viraha turadrisham.
Evam bruvanam
viraha turadrisham. Vrajastriya Krishna Vishikta Manasa.
Vrajastriya Krishna Vishikta Manasa.
Visrijya lajjam rurusma susmaran.
Visrijya lajjam rurusma susmaran.
Govinda damodara madhaveti.
Govinda damodara madhaveti.
So what happened is, when the gopis realized, oh, Krishna is going, they anticipated viraha. Evam bruvanam viraha turadrisham. Vrajastriya, the damsels of Vrindavan, with the intense attachment to Krishna, they ran. And they gave up their lajja, their shyness. Visrijya lajjam, and instantly they were crying. What were they crying? Govinda damodara madhaveti. Govinda damodara madhaveti. Govinda damodara madhaveti. Govinda damodara madhaveti. Govinda damodara. So in Vrindavan, this is what they are chanting all the time. Govinda damodara. This is the mood of that separation. That hankering to be with the Lord, hankering to see the Lord and his consort together. Like when Rama and Lakshman went to Mithila after killing Tataka, Maricha, Subhahu, and after the Siddhashram pastime, after delivering Ahalya. When they went to Mithila, all the residents in Janak Maharaj's kingdom, they're looking at Ram and saying, because they all had attachment to Mother Sita as their own daughter. Oh, Prince Ram, you should marry our Sita. They all wanted Ram to win the hand of Mother Sita. Even in Kundina, in Vidarbha, when Krishna came to kidnap Rukmini, everybody is looking at Krishna. Please take her away from that jackal Shishupal. He should not marry, or Rukmini belongs to you. So our mood in ISKCON, when we chant Hare Krishna, like we chant Hare Krishna, all of this, all the time, you see, the mood is Radha and Krishna, we want to serve you. And we are your servants. Please engage us in your service. So this is the mood in which we chant. And if you're more interested to know the science of bhakti, science of developing a loving relationship with Krishna, Lord Ram, so this has been, since when did you start Glad sessions? 2 years now. And one of the biggest challenges is devotees are also feeling separation. I also feel separation from devotees because we have it once a month. So then I spoke to Meghna today. I spoke to you. You're also Meghna. I spoke to her also. I spoke to both Meghnas and I spoke to Sagar. And so we have decided that I will take Bhagavad Gita class. I've been taking once a month. I've decided to take it every week. It will be offline in the temple premises, ISKCON temple in Babulnath, Charni Road. And I'm kind of busy and all, but yeah, we kind of sorted the whole thing. And if you're interested, so we're working out the logistics. So Meghna Thakkar, na, surname. Meghna ji will take your names. You can contact her because we'll be leaving immediately now. I've got another meeting to attend. But she will take the names and then we'll get in touch with you and we'll take it forward. We are having a meeting next Monday and we're planning out the venue and details of the which weekday, what time and all of that. But in principle, I was discussing with Abhishek also that it's too much. बहुत हो गया. 2 साल से हो रहा है. महीने में एक बार आते हैं. And then I feel just connected and then again we away. And sometimes when I'm traveling, we're away for like 2 months. So if you're interested, please connect with Meghna and we will meet every week. Hare Krishna. So I want to pause here as we are discussing Ramayan. So if anybody has questions or something, we could take for a few minutes before I leave. So today what we discussed on Ramayan is, we began with the mood of Ramayan. The mood is Karuna Ras. How Valmiki Muni sees the two sarascreen birds mating and then he feels intense pain and then he curses and then the whole Ramayan is embodying that mood. And we also discussed Lord Ram sending Mother Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram and we discussed the 3 reasons for that. How to understand. What is the first? Dharma conflict. Second? Purpose of the incarnation. And third? The Vipralamba, the hot chutney wala experience. Yes. Anything else now anybody wants to ask or discuss regarding today's class? Yes, please. Right.
I wanted to ask you that when you said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as Ram came as
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Is it like not true for what I understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the vow of Radharani?
Yes.
So if that is the case, isn't that Krishna came as?
Yes. Yeah, Ram and Krishna are same. So.
Yeah, because you said Ram.
Yeah. Okay, I stand corrected. Ram, who is Krishna, and Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Yes. That's true. Is that okay? Does that answer?
So dharma conflict is nothing but dharam sankat.
Yeah, dharam sankat.
So when a person is going through a dharam sankat or dharam conflicts between the rights and the right for that person, so he chooses his dharma and he acts accordingly. But the repercussions of it, like maybe the family members or the other people, loved ones, have to go through also, or maybe it also, and then that conflict again starts because you are doing your own stuff, but they are also getting affected somewhere. So how to kind of balance.
Yes. There's no easy shortcuts.
Yeah, correct.
And life is tough. This place is a place of suffering. Krishna explains in the 8th chapter of Gita, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. He stamps this world as dukkhalaya. Dukkhalaya means, alaya means abode. Like if I say, please come with me to Pustakalaya, what will you get there?
Library.
Pustaka, you will get. Let me take you to Bhojanalaya. I take you to a restaurant. I feed you food. So when you go to Bhojanalaya, you don't get pustak. If you go to Pustakalaya, you don't get Bhojan there. If I say, come Prabhu, I'll take you to Madiralaya. What is Madiralaya? So in Pustakalaya, you don't get food. In Bhojanalaya, you don't get pustak. So Krishna has stamped this world as Dukkhalaya. And you are looking for Sukha. So the whole plan is, you like go through, bahut thak gaya, Krishna, bas ho gaya, mujhe ab le lo. So when you are dying, you are like, I don't want to take birth again. I don't want to enter another mother's womb again and go through the same suffering in this material world. I want moksha. I want to be liberated from the cycle of janma mrityu. संसार के चक्कर से मुझे निकलना है. ये realization लाने के लिए material world perfect place है. Otherwise you won't get, if everything was comfortable here, you wouldn't be inspired to leave this world. So there are two ways the Lord inspires us to come to Him. One is through the sufferings we go through, and the second is through beautiful pastimes like Ramayan. See, Ramayan, Mahabhagavatam, they attract you. Bhagwan idhar hai, acha, Bhagwan ke paas. It's like we are stuck in a well. When you're fallen in a well, there's somebody above saying, come, come, come. And you're like, yeah. But if you're like stubborn, nahi aana hai mujhe. And like somebody from above is throwing you a rope. A rope le lo, aa jao, nahi aunga. So then what the Lord does is, in that well, niche scorpions hai, snakes hai. So they will bite you. So you need a kick on your bottom. Pain. Then you look up. So you need both, balance of both. So we have Ramayan, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita to pull you from above, and you have your Dharma Sankat to get a kick from below. With all your best intentions, the people you love the most will misunderstand you the most. And you're like, नहीं होगा आपसे. अरे भगवान राम को नहीं हुआ पूरा बैलेंस, आपसे कैसे होगा? But that doesn't mean we don't try. That doesn't mean we cut corners and we are not sincere. Our heart becomes soft. These attachments makes our heart soft. And then when you come to Krishna with tears in your eyes, that is better than being a detached sadhu. See, it's better to be attached in this material world and come to the Lord, because in that attachment, when you come to the Lord, आपके आंखों से आंसू तो निकलेगा. और वो आंसू जो है ना, भगवान travels ashrupat. He travels the path of tears. You'll come closer to the Lord. If you're a detached sadhu with no emotions at all, भाव ही नहीं है. Krishna is not captured. But so Ramayan is like that. So Dharma Sankat का मेरे पास कोई answer नहीं है.
So when you say travel through tears, it can be
like Draupadi, she cried and then the Lord came as sari. So we say that when we cry in front of the Lord, when we actually tears, tears is what Krishna travels through and He enters our heart. Ashrupat. He says, I travel by the path of tears of my devotees. So Krishna brings us on our knees. This world is designed to make us cry. That's why Srila Prabhupada Gaur Govind Maharaj, when he opened the temple in Bhubaneswar, Krishna Balaram temple, he began the class like this. So, we say, we have opened a ISKCON temple here or something. He began the class. We have opened a crying school here. Come and cry in front of Krishna, so that you don't have to cry when the material world kicks you. See, we are being very honest in ISKCON. Generally, people give you self-help talks, motivational talks. They make you feel that this world will give you happiness. We don't want to beat around the bush. We don't want to give you false hopes. There is no happiness in this world. There is pleasure experiences, temporary happiness here. That's like a painkiller. Painkiller gives you relief. From -5, you can come to 0. Some relief sometimes you experience. But from 0 to +5 is spiritual life. For most of us, our understanding of happiness is simply mitigation of miseries. Some relief we get, we think, we equate that with happiness. Spiritual life offers you something beyond relief. So that's the way it is. That's why Ramayan में रोएंगे, आप उसमें खुशी अनुभव करेंगे. That's why when Emperor Haile Selassie from Ethiopia, when sannyasis went there, they offered him Ramayan as a gift. He was very emotional. He said, Ramayan is our heritage. The Ethiopian king is saying, because he says, from the Bible, there is the descendants of Emperor Kush, who's son of Ham. So that's a phonetic misnomer for Ram and Lava Kush ka Kush. So they consider themselves as descendants of Kush, of Ram. So 5,000 miles away in Ethiopia, there is legacy of Ramayan. Egypt is around what?
Even, this Cambodia had
Of course, that और पूरा दुनिया भर में रामायण फैला हुआ है. Egypt derives its word from Achpati, who is a forefather of Dasharath Maharaj. In fact, even today, one of the most, if you ask Egypt, who is the most famous personality, just like in India we have Mahatma Gandhi and all that. Egypt, one of the most famous queens of Egypt is Sita Men. She is named after Mother Sita. She is the most famous. But there are many places in Iraq, Ramallah, Israel, there is Ramadi. Many places connected to Ram in Iraq, Israel. In Germany, the Swabian Alp, they found a 40,000-year-old deity of Narsimhadev, half man, half lion incarnation. In Armenia, there is a temple of this little blue boy, which is Krishna. I was in Russia a few years ago, and in Russia, they took me to this Vladivostok region where they have a river called Sita, a lake called Ram, another lake called Moksha. There is another place, blog, वहाँ पे they found a Vishnu deity which is some thousands and thousands of years old. Four-armed Vishnu form deity found in Russian regions. Actually, they say that Russia is derived from the Rishi. Many rishis who went to Himalayas and then they said, नहीं यार वापस जाना है गांव में शादी करना है वापस घर बसाना है but अब वापस जाएंगे तो हमारी इज्जत ना कट जाएगा so they went other side so तो उधर गए तो उधर वो ऋषि लोग सेटल हो गए तो ऋषि से this is a speculation WhatsApp University no but there are many facts also. This may be, but if you see in Russia, there are many. Like today morning, I was talking to my friend Arunas. He's from Lithuania, Latvia region. He has come now. I know him for 25 years. His legal name is, now he's initiated, spiritual, Hare Krishna devotee. His name is Akshay Krishna Das. But I still call him Arunas because in his native language, Arunas means sun, and in Sanskrit, Arunas means sun. You will see many similarities.
Yeah, there's a temple in Bangkok also, Waterloo.
Bangkok, Thailand is Thailand capital. Before Bangkok was Ayutthaya, named after Ayodhya. And you see Thailand's kings, Rama 1, Rama 2, all the kings are. I think Modi was there last week. Thailand mein hai na. Anyway, so there are many, all over the world Ramayan was spread. Like Rome is interesting. You can check this on Wikipedia. Rome is derived from Ram. See, Rome was founded on 21st April 353 BC or something. The exact numbers you get from the internet. But I know this, 353 or 753 BC, 21st April. And if you calculate the date, there is a website I had gone that calculated the date, and that particular date was the date of Ram Navami. And Rome was founded by the Etruscan civilization. And if you read the life and there's a whole Wikipedia page on Etruscan civilization. They are that's like we have Roman civilization, Egyptian civilization. So the Etruscans, in their paintings and their archaeological excavations, you will find very interesting. Even today in Italy, many of these caves, Etruscan civilization का जो legacy है, you'll find in the caves paintings of two men with bow and arrow and a lady with them, and beings with tails, alluding to the monkey soldiers of Ram. Rome कहाँ है? 5,000 miles away from India, and diametrically opposite and dramatically opposite Rome, on the western side is a city called Ravenna. You will find a Wikipedia page on Ravenna. So Ravenna and Rome are like सामने सामने, इटली का ही है वो पार्ट. तो Ravenna कहाँ से आया वो? ऐसा विमे से ये स्पेकुलेशन है आपका. Like some of the devotees go other extreme, you know. अरे ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अस्ट्रालय, पर्थ is Parth, and that is too much, you know. वो तो ज़्यादा ही वो. But there is a fact. वो इसे वो अपना नया दिमाग लगा रहे हैं. But ये facts है, Rome का fact है कि Thailand, South Korea has their own version of, Korea has their own version of Ramayana, Japan has its own version, China has also. There are around 300 versions of Ramayana. Urdu में भी है. Basically, Ramayana has captured the imagination of the whole world at one point of time because Ramayana makes you feel loved. The Ramayan ka speciality, I would like to end with this. If you can chant these verses with me. 2 verses, amazing verses which explain what actually is Ramayan. Kujantam Rama Rameti
Kujantam Rama Rameti
Maduram Maduraksharam
Maduram Maduraksharam
Aruya Kavita Shakham
Aruya Kavita Shakam
Vande Valmiki Kokilam.
Vande Valmiki Kokilam.
So this verse says there is a cuckoo bird called Valmiki. What is he doing? Kujantam Rama Rameti. Is constantly chanting Rama, Rama. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam. Very sweet names of Ram this cuckoo bird is singing. Where is he singing? Aruya Kavita Shakam. This bird is sitting on the branch of poetry. And this cuckoo bird's name is Vande Valmiki Kokilam. This cuckoo bird is Valmiki. Now look at the contrast. This is the way Valmiki is glorified. This is the way Ramayana is glorified. That a cuckoo bird is singing sweet Rama, Rama. The next verse gives a graphically opposite analogy. Want to know this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Valmikir Munir Simhasya
Valmikir Muni Simhasya
Kavita Vanacharita
Kavita Vanacharita
Shinman Rama Katanadan
Srimad Rama Kathanad
Konayati Prasangatim.
Gunayati Prasangati.
Valmiki is a lion. Valmiki Munir Simhasya. And he is in the forest of poetry. And in that forest, on one tree, Shunvan Rama Katanadan, this lion is roaring the name of Ram. And all the lower animals are running away in fear. Look at the contrast. A sweet cuckoo bird is singing Ram. Then a ferocious lion is roaring Ram. Now, can you compare a cuckoo and a lion? I mean, if you train a cuckoo, can a cuckoo ever roar like a lion? And if you send a lion to some classical music classes, can a lion ever sing like a cuckoo bird? Never. So, क्यों ऐसा contrast दिया? Because Ramayan literally is like a cuckoo bird singing, sweet. Ramayan ka literally is very sweet. But if you could dive deeper into it, then it is like a lion, because all the misgivings in the heart, all the confusions, insecurities will evaporate, and they are like the small animals, like jackals, deer, they all run away when the lion roars. Similarly, all our fear and insecurities will run away when we hear Ramayan. So therefore, we need to hear Ramayan more and more, especially tomorrow is Ram Navami. See, in Vedic literatures, they are divided into 3 categories. Like Vedas, Upanishads, which have all these verses. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishate. All these verses in the Vedas and Upanishads, they all come under the category of Shabda. The focus is on the literal sound. The second kind of Vedic literature, second category, they are called Puranas. They focus on Artha, meaning. For first category, they focus on sound. Second focuses on Artha. Then there is third category of Vedic literatures. They are called Kavya, poetic literatures. They focus on Paramartha, Bhavartha, means deeper meaning. And Ramayana is called Mahakavya. Ramayana is called as the elixir, the best of all the poetic literatures. So, therefore, we request devotees to read Ramayana, hear Ramayana. That's a very nice verse. I'll end with this as I leave. Nasti Ganga Samam Tirtam
Nasti Ganga Samam Tirtham
Nasti Mata Samam Gurum
Nasti Mata Samam Gurum
Nasti Vishnu Samam Devo
Nasti Vishnu Samam Devo
Nasti Ramayanam Param.
Nasti Ramayana Param.
There is no holy place like Mother Ganga. Nasti Ganga Samam Tirtham. Nasti Mata Samam Gurum. Mother is your first Guru. Nasti Vishnu Samam Devo. Vishnu is the chief of all devas, gods. And Nasti Ramayanam Param. There is no literature higher than Ramayana. That's the way we glorify. And don't ask me, Acha Prabhu, but what about Bhagavatam? Aaj Ramayana ka glorification hai bas. When we come to Bhagavatam, we'll speak about Bhagavatam. So when we go to Vrindavan yatra, we go to Kurukshetra yatra गए. महाराज ने, हमारे गुरु महाराज ने कुरुक्षेत्र को इतना ग्लोरीफाई किया. रोहिणी को ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था वो. You had asked this question. Yeah. Maharaj said, this is the most holiest of all holy places, Kurukshetra, and you asked this question, Maharaj, but you said Vrindavan is the most holy place when we were in Vrindavan. And now you are saying Kurukshetra, which is actually the highest? That's what you asked. And what did Maharaj say? Beautiful answer. When we are in Vrindavan, Vrindavan is the highest abode. When we are in Kurukshetra, Kurukshetra is the highest abode. When we are glorifying Ramayan, Ramayan mein maja luto. Actually, you know what is happening in the end? See, you may not realize this now, but if you see, I'm humbly saying this with my 26 years of staying in the ashram as your friend and brother and well-wisher, somebody who really, really wants to see that you experience deep, loving sentiments for Krishna and Lord Ram, of course, same. I want to tell you that don't underestimate what you're doing just now. Coming together and hearing about the Lord and chanting is an extremely powerful way to feel love spiritually. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam which says that when we do like this, what happens? Parasparanu katanam pavanam bhagavatyasha mita rati mita tushti nivrittir mita atmana. Parasparanu katanam. When we come together like this, Pavanam, we feel purified because we are glorifying Krishna. Otherwise, we are only thinking of ourselves. This will give two things. Mitarati. We will actually develop love for each other. See, right now, what goes in the name of love is generally lust. We are seeing how a person can make me happy. Love is all about giving. So, Mitarati happens when ego gets dissolved. The false ego gets dissolved when we come together and glorify the Lord. Mitarati. Mita tushti will actually be able to make each other happy. Nivritti, mita atmana, the soul will be completely satisfied. Right now you are practicing Shravan Yoga. This is a form of connection with the Lord. So please don't underestimate. Just because you're not doing some intense pulling of your body and exercises, you may be thinking, I'm not doing anything productive, I'm just sitting. But this is extremely powerful. Because I'm telling you very honestly, I've lived 26 years in the ashram, and when I say this to my friends, they don't believe it. Last 26 years living in an institution, in an ashram, which is a part of an institution, I have not seen even one instance of politics. Not one instance of physical violence. Not one instance of gali galoch. And when I say this, people don't believe it. Like today only during lunch, I am talking, like he's close friends with many of the celebrities. So he was telling about his one friend called celebrity. So in your ashram, people may be feeling envious of you, insecure. So explained to him how on his 50th birthday we all celebrated, how we cheered, the way we celebrated, and how everybody is also a preacher, preaching. And then when he said all of this, broke down. He said, "Aisa duniya bhi hai kya?" He just couldn't believe that there is a world like this, where naturally we celebrated, last year, September, when his 50th birthday, we were like, so, so people can't believe that aisa ho sakta hai. Now, this is not because of me or all of us. It's because of the process given by a pure devotee. Because the false ego gets dissolved when we make the Lord as the center. Generally, we keep ourselves as the center. If you're interested to study more the science of bhakti, I'm there for you. And I will also grow with you. We'll all grow together. Govind Prem is here, Abhishek. Meghnaji is here. Baldev, Meghnad anyway here. Sagar is here. We're all there for you. So, we can give your names. We'll connect you to our weekly class. And we'll go together on this journey. Okay? Hare Krishna. I went on and on and on. It's 6:30. I have to rush for something at 7. So, I seek your permission to leave. Thank you. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Ram Navami Maha Utsav ki, Maha Mahotsav ki jai.